Hello, hola, ciao. What is good? What is good for me is, it is Thanksgiving week, and I have made the conscious decision this week, the week of Thanksgiving, to count my blessings and be thankful for the things that I have. I'm incredibly blessed, and I'm very thankful for my life. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to have become a self-published, independent author in the world that we are living in today. As a woman, looking back on history, many women were not able to write or read until much later after men. But not only that, there's many people today on earth who are unable to have access to the education, experience, and resources needed to publish a book. However, I also will tell you that there is hope, because it's not as hard as they make it seem, especially with today's technology. And so technology, I have decided, with everything going on in the world with AI, is really what you make it. It is what the maker makes it. So if you're a good person with good intentions and you choose to use technology for good, so I believe will be the result. But I am making this video today as a finally promised, long promised and worked on video of how to self-publish through Barnes & Noble's self-publishing house, which they call B&N Press, Barnes & Noble Press, all done online. Because this is the platform that I used to publish my book, Testimonials by Kelly Paratelli, which is a compilation of non-fictional short stories and poetry, rhyming poetry that I've written throughout my life, and compiled, as I've said in other videos, and typed up and edited what I had already written in countless handwritten journals throughout my life. So I did already create a video called Self-Publishing for Beginners, and that video is already up on my YouTube channel. I do have a playlist for self-publishing and my book, and that video is really for anyone who is interested in publishing a book, who has never had any idea where to start. So that video is for people who are starting from scratch, whether you've got written things already in journals that you just want to type up, edit, and put together, or whether you're starting to type everything up in a Word document or Google or Excel or whatever it is you use to create and edit and write your actual content. So I did say the very basics for anyone looking to self-publish a book in that video, such as your kind of need, I guess, to know about computers and how to use them, because all of this is done online. You do have to have some sort of platform for maybe Microsoft Word or Google Docs and be familiar with that kind of technology and computer skills. That would definitely make this whole process go faster, but I am going to do a tutorial how-to video, exactly step-by-step, with screenshots of how this website looks, how I did what I did for publishing and uploading in this video. I may put it as multiple parts because it could end up being really long, and I've looked and searched other YouTubers who have thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views, in fact, on these how-to videos of how to publish through Barnes & Noble's Press, because people have done it all over the country. And their videos are anywhere from 8 minutes to 30 minutes. If they made them in parts, there's some that are longer, but I don't want to lose the audience retention and have people get out of the video early, because YouTube's algorithm counts a view as watching the entire video all the way through. And I know that if it's boring for some people, I don't want to waste your time or have you sit there for too long. But I'm making this video because, one, I had intended to do this from the beginning on my YouTube channel to help other people step by step through the process and what it will look like for you. I myself am a very visual learner, and so my two ways of learning things best have always been seeing them for myself, seeing visually what they look like, imagining what it will look like, and doing it myself. And audio learning hasn't been as helpful for me as visual. So I'm going to show my screen and how it looks. I have screenshot recordings that I will walk you through with my voice and tell you what they all mean in the step-by-step process here without hopefully making this too long, but it is very helpful information if you are one of those people who are truly interested in publishing your own book with the platform that I did use. I will also say another reason I'm making this video now is one, because a lot of people have asked me recently in real life, in my workplace, in my friend circles, in the real estate photography industry that I have entered into now, other artists, and just random people that I've known throughout my life who actually messaged me from seeing my posts on social media and have reached out personally and asked me, could you please tell me how you published your book, how long it took you, what the process was like, how expensive it was. And it's actually free to self-publish through Barnes & Noble Press and through Schuler's local independent bookstore, where my book is also on the shelves. I published through Barnes & Noble, and I will say, and I've already said, that my next book will be published through Schuler's, but this specific video is going to be how to publish through Barnes & Noble specifically. And I did refer them to that first beginner's video guide that I made. And really the only things that cost money is the printing. It costs you to print depending on if you wanted to do a paperback copy or a hard copy. And I'll show you in these screenshots here, the printing costs, the copyright claims to purchase your copyright content cost money through the United States of America, and the ISBN Bar Code that you have at the bottom of your book here, as I've mentioned before, are the things that actually cost when it comes to publishing. But like I said, with technology, if you use it well, we're living in a time where it's actually easier than ever to self-publish a book. So that being said, I am still in the process of getting my book Schuler's on the shelves of the fourth recently opened location of Schuler's in Bloomfield outside Detroit in Michigan. But right now, currently, this book is on the shelves of the 28th Street location of Schuler's local and independent bookstores in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the Okemos location outside of Lansing in the middle of the state, and Ann Arbor outside the University of Michigan on the east side closer to Detroit. So I will discuss more in depth later the differences between publishing through Barnes & Noble and what it would be like in Schuler's. Currently, it's nice to have both because, one, I truly want to support local and independent businesses as much as humanly possible. And like I said in my last video, there's no other local and independent bookstore to the size and scale in the whole country that is like Schuler's. So it's nice to be able to have a physical copy of my book on their shelves, even though this is considered consignment. But soon, when I have more money, I will join what's called the Ingram Sparks Indie Authors Association, where I will then be in the computer at Schuler's, and you will be able to find my book at Schuler's online. Right now, through Schuler's, the only way you can get this book is to walk into a store and purchase it off the shelf. You cannot find it, and you will not be able to order it online. The only way you can currently order this book online is the link in the description of every video that I post on YouTube through Barnes & Noble Self-Publishing House. So currently that gives me an option to have this book both available online through Barnes & Noble and on the shelves through Schuler's. I'll discuss more about that later, but again, this is specifically for this link that I've posted in the description box of every YouTube video I have that shows the Barnes & Noble link, the price of this book, and the beautiful 5-star reviews that wonderful people have written about my book after purchasing it and supporting me. And again, any support is appreciated for my YouTube channel as well as my book. Please subscribe and like this video to help the algorithms and push it to the top of the search list. Any comments help, any views, any shares, anything like that is greatly appreciated. That being said, I hope this video is helpful to anyone looking to publish a book. I feel I'm doing it for good and honorable right reasons. The last thing I'll say before I get into these details is some people have said to me that they believe that the only people who publish books or engage in art practices while they're alive are people who are selfish, and I highly disagree. And the reason why I support living artists is because I'm honored to say that my book at Schuler's is on the shelves near other self-published authors like this lady Theodora, who one of my great friends and sisters in this world alerted me to, and her book probably describes the greatest human adversity and every human adversity you could possibly imagine, and the propensity for human resilience to overcome these tragedies and become stronger. This lady is the definition of this. She's gone through every hardship you could possibly imagine, and it is a true biography that she wrote in her final days of life, because she knew, like I did, that for it to be a true, authentic voice of hers, she had to publish it while she was alive. Because once you pass away, it's not the same to produce art. It's not the same when somebody else is filtering through and editing what was your true voice. The fire content comes while you are alive. This is another example. Viola, this beautiful woman from the United States of America, who not only was a black woman during the times of this country where unconscionable things like slavery were going on and women still did not have rights and equal rights to certain things as well. This woman was actually blind, but she wanted to publish a book, and it was her dream. And she published through Schuler's. Local independence was a truly good thing, just like Theodora and just like me. And this woman decided that she would have her daughter edit it for her and dictate it and transcribe it for her so that her true voice would also be out while she was alive. These are just two examples, two great examples of why I believe it's important to support living artists and to support people who are brave enough to speak up and be themselves and share their true light and love and voice with the world. That being said, peace, love, and respect, hug life. Let's get started with this video. All right. So, beginning with this video of how to publish through Barnes & Noble's self-publishing press, I will start by showing you how to create a Barnes & Noble Press login account. So, again, if you're familiar with any kind of log account creations, they're going to have you put in all of your information and create your own, username and password for your site. The tricky part with Barnes & Noble is that they have multiple different sites, as I'm showing you here when you Google Barnes & Noble's login account. It's very interesting because some things say Barnes & Noble sign in, some say Barnes & Noble with an N in between, some have the corporate logo on the side, but you want the one that says B&N Press. Because the press part is the self-publishing login specifically. So Barnes & Noble basically has a regular login account if you are a customer, and then this is the Barnes & Noble press page, which is a separate login through them, specifically if you are looking to create a self-published body of work, which I did when I created testimonials. So you're gonna have an email. You're going to have your own password that you create. I'm going to click Create Account here on this B&N page through Barnes & Noble. And as you can see, this is the way the page looks. And I'm going to click Create Account here, which I already have an account through Barnes & Noble with my name and email already set up. So this is actually just a mock trial that I'm doing for you to show you the step-by-step process. So I'm just gonna make up a new one here with my other email so that you can see what this looks like. You're gonna put in your first and last name. It's gonna ask you some security questions here. You create a password with your email. I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, so that's what city I was born in. I have different security questions for the original. But I'm going to show you how to create the account, and then I'm going to go into the account I've already created so that you can see the way that this looks step by step. You create your account. You're going to see it spin here. And this is what the home page of Barnes & Noble Press looks like. It's telling me here that I have to create a vendor registration account because I've already done this for my original book. And like I said, this is just an experiment to show you how to create the account. But I'm going to go into my real account here shortly. But this vendor status is basically Barnes & Noble's Press letting you know that you have been approved and validated to have an account as a self-published author, which is merely a matter of you submitting like your tax information. But this is the link to my book. This is what it'll look like when it's all done. And that publisher's website is what would go in that box. Eventually, you know, they'll ask you if you're a citizen, you'll save, and then it actually took 2 to 3 days for them to approve that via email. Once they basically just check your information to make sure that you are a citizen of the United States, your tax information and your address, and basically just your basic info adds up to what they have in their registry. So then when you first do this, you'll have to wait a couple days till you get that email, and then your vendor registration account will be complete. Now I'm going to log in and sign in under the real account I already have with Barnes & Noble Press so that you can see what this looks like from the standpoint of someone who's already created a project, which is what they call it in here, whatever project you do, because they actually have options just like they do at Schuler's, and I think Amazon KDP is another big one for self-publishing, but I don't support Amazon or even have Amazon anymore. It was Barnes & Noble for me first because I like the idea of it being on the shelves in all of their stores, but it didn't quite turn out how I thought it was going to, and it's not as easy as a process as it sounds to get them on the actual shelves at Barnes & Noble, but it was very simple to get it on the shelves at Schuler's, and I will explain more about that process later. So this is the main page of your book where you see that product page link for your book through Barnes & Noble, because mine is already completed. This shows the basic information for your book and its details, and so this is the summary of your basic information. So once you click Start Project on the main home page and your vendor account status is approved, you'll see that this green active status comes up under vendor account, and you are approved by the tax-paying bank information in the W-9 here. Once it shows approved and shows up as green, you're ready to start your project and begin editing, uploading, and entering in all the details. So here they have my information, my taxpayer information, which is basically just your address, your name, social security number, phone number, and your W-9, W-2 form, W-9 in this case, filled out. And then it shows the date that you signed your taxpayer form, and the banking information would be you're an individual proprietor because you're not doing this under a company. And then you have your banking information so that when you make money from your book, they will directly deposit that money into your account for all of your sales. So this is the main page on how to self-publish. Once you've logged in and created your account, under this menu tab here, you'll see all of the main pieces and options here. It says pick your format. They have step-by-step process and how to do it. There's almost always a link that you can click on with information if you don't understand something, but I will say even for me, there were certain things that I had to look up in terms of editing and formatting at the end, but they have a very extensive PDF that you can use if you're one of those people that does well. So this is the Let's Get Started on your book page. Here you're going to choose either print or ebook, and like I said, they have multiple options with Barnes & Noble as well as through Schuler's and KDP, where you can either do a paperback, a hard copy, an audio book, or an ebook. In this case, I clicked book because I was intending to do a paperback for testimonials, which I did. A hard copy is actually more expensive than a paperback, and I'm not sure what the price is on audios and ebooks. A lot of people are doing ebooks now on things like Nooks and Kindles and whatnot, Amazon KDP. I do intend to make audio, as I've said before. I want to do an audio of testimonials, and I also want to do a translation into Spanish and maybe Italian down the line. So that is a goal for my first book when I remaster it. I am still working on the second book, and so anyways, this is the portion where you have chosen which one you're gonna do. I chose book, and this is where you enter in your title. And so just for the sake of this test run trial to show you how to do this, I'm gonna put Testimonials Volume 2 here as my second project, and click next, and this is where you say keep it personal or sell your book, and sell your book means you're doing it for money, in the sense that you want to put a price on it. Do you want this book to be set up as a pre-order? No, I wouldn't do this because it kind of complicates things, but I'll explain more about that later. I did not do a pre-order for my book. And so this is where you choose the book size and type. You'll see where you are on the left-hand side here where it says book size and type. You're still in that portion, that chapter of this creative process. And this is where you choose if you want it to be black and white, paper, matted, cream. You choose here the page estimated count. Mine was 186 pages for testimonials, so you choose your range. You choose your page size. You choose if you want it to be in black and white or color, hardcover or paper. So here the standard size, just so you know, for a paperback, I go and I look this up here because when I first started, I didn't understand what these inches meant. I'm not a math person. Numbers might as well be a foreign language to me. So I went and looked up what the typical size is for a paperback book and or a hard copy here. So I went and created a new tab in my internet here. And looked up the standard book sizes here just by Googling it. And here you'll see what are the standard book sizes. I just read a blog about what they are usually, and I find a lot of good information in these types of blog articles. But here you'll see it says that a paperback typically ranges in the US from 5x5 to 8x5. And then a hardcover is typically 6 to 9. So I chose my size as 5.5 by 8.5 because that was the typical suggestion for a paperback book, and that is this size here that my book is. So this is a 5.5 by 8x5, what they considered a standard paperback copy. Okay, so anyways, now you're getting into, also with cover finish, just so you know, I did choose matte and not gloss, but that was my choice. I chose matte instead of gloss. That's just what I preferred. I think gloss is more expensive. And then I did white, not cream. 50 pounds is standard. Now we're getting to the printing costs. And this is the print cost if you have an account with them per book. And show you a little bit more about what that means. I'm going to go over here to order history, and I'll show you that you get a discount for printing copies through your Barnes & Noble account. So you set your price, like right now the price of testimonials is $12.99 for anyone who buys it through this link on Barnes & Noble, and it's the same price at Schuler's because I wanted it to be the same. But when you look at my order history here and you go into the copies that I myself have ordered, like I printed and ordered ones off of this website so that they would come in the mail and I could stock the shelves at Schuler's. So because Barnes & Noble only does mailed orders via online link. But when you do it through your own site, you get a substantial discount on shipping and the printing. So when you go in here and look at the copies that I could order here of my own book, you click on those little 3 dots and it shows you how to order copies. And then if you go into your shopping cart here, it'll show you what that discount is. So for everybody else, they're going to pay standard shipping costs, and it's going to be $12.99. They're only charging me $4.21 per copy to print because you get a discount as the author through their website. So they're not charging me for handling and shipping like they would everybody else, and they're only charging me $4 to print. So I printed them off through this website with the discount, and that's how I got them on the shelves at Schuler's. They came in the mail, and then I went there and stocked them. So everyone else is going to pay whatever price you set, but you get a discount through their website for doing it. And now we're getting into the interior of the book and how to prepare the size and format for the margins, the page size. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm really good with technology. I'm familiar with Microsoft Word. I'm familiar with computers. I have a master's degree, and a lot of people could say that I'm very privileged and blessed, and I am, but nobody else took those tests or did the research papers. I spent years doing the work, you know what I'm saying? So, and how to use these kinds of systems online, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this formatting portion took me a lot of time to figure out. I had to read through this entire formatting guide that they have in PDF format here, and so it was just a real process getting it sized and saving it correctly through Microsoft Word, and I imagine it would be the same through Google Docs. But yeah, so you click on this formatting guide and this PDF comes up. And it shows you several pages with all the details. Like I said, if you're somebody that learns well from reading things like this, and seeing it for yourself, the table of contents shows you everything you would need to know, actually with how-to step-by-step guides here, even with pictures and visuals on how to format the margins. I don't know if you're familiar with Microsoft Word, but like, you can change the margins in the paragraph section. So, because in school, sometimes they would make you do things in 1-inch margins and your paper had to be in a certain format. And certain jobs might require you to do that. And so this system that Barnes & Noble uses required you to have a certain format for this book to be uploaded with the size and shape that you chose. So a standard Word document when you go in is not going to show you exactly, it's not going to default to the right settings that you need. So you really have to play around with it and size and shape it correctly. And I suggest both reading that PDF like I did, playing around with it until you get it right, keep saving it and trying to upload it until they allow you to do so because it's in the correct format. And also you can watch other people's how-to videos on YouTube like mine and like I did watching other content creators. So, you know, this is what it looks like in Microsoft Word before it's uploaded into their system, my book. And it took me a really long time to get that formatting correct. So I have two separate files, and one is saved as Microsoft Word document before Barnes & Noble formatting, and one after because it's just unique to their system that it has to be uploaded that way. Again, they show you how to do it, and I am showing you how to do it now. So you basically align these format margin settings and page sizes with the size that you chose, which again, I chose a 5.5 by 8.5. So for my paperback copy size, so you go into this quick guide and you look at those dimensions and what the margins would need to be, choosing that size. And they have it all laid out in a grid here. If you're like an Excel type person, the trim size, and what the corresponding margin size would need to be. It's not as complicated as it sounds. It just takes some playing around with. You know, it's kind of like any other art that you would create. You just play around with it until you get it right. And they'll tell you on the website if it's not in the right format, and they won't let you proceed. So you basically, until it's correct. So that's what was frustrating for me, is that it probably took me like 20 times to get the formatting correct up to their standards before it would let me go through. And I pushed forward and I finally did it, and I basically just kept trying every format option suggestion that they had until it allowed me to upload it and I got it right. But the actual like process of using this website is not difficult. It was just this formatting part was probably one of the most difficult things for me. But if you're really good with Microsoft Word, you can figure it out. And if you're not, you can either read this how-to manual that actually shows screenshots of what it looks like in Microsoft Word with the step-by-step process of how to change it, or you can watch other videos like I did or like mine. So you click continue, and this is where you can always show, where it says show me how, that's where you would click and it would bring up that PDF how-to guide. That's what brings up this how to set trim size page. And there's always a cookie thing there that you can exit out of here. But yeah, that's what it looks like in Microsoft Word, and then the PDF explains that's everything in detail. So yeah, this is the page design tab, and with your specific formatting guide that you need here. So now we're gonna move into the next step here. I'm gonna click continue. It's gonna say prepare your interior images. You can see where we are in the process. We're on the image tab of interiors, and my Word document. There's the formatting guide again, embedded fonts, more of the stuff I said about Microsoft Word. You get it all right, everything together, and then you're basically going to upload your file that you have saved onto your computer. So when you're in Microsoft Word or whatever program you're using, you save as into a certain folder and you select from your computer. It can't be open while you upload it. Most programs won't allow you to upload your file while it is open. So you close out of it, you open it from your computer. I have it saved in a certain file. Under documents, I have a folder for my books and for testimonials. And so just for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna upload one of these just so you can see what it's like here. And it'll show you that it's processing your file, it's trying to upload it, it's analyzing, and then you'll know if it's in the right format or not, because if it's not, this is what will happen. And I'm doing this just to show you. This red thing will come across that says your page needs to be this size, this many inches, the file you uploaded is this. So that's how you know it's not in the right size. Even when you think you've formatted it correctly in Microsoft Word, this is the error message that you will get, and you will not be able to upload it until you get it correct. It's a process of trial and error, and eventually you will get it, I promise you. Don't give up. For the sake of how long this video is becoming, and I want to make sure that I get all the details in a step-by-step process, I'm going to stop here today, and I'm going to add additional parts to this video. So I think this is a good place for me to stop. And I appreciate any support for this video, for anything in regards to self-publishing, indie authors and artists, and independent and locals. And I appreciate my life and the opportunity to publish. I hope this video helps people who truly do want to publish a book while they're alive. And look forward to these next videos, because I'm going to film it all now in one sitting, and then I'm going to upload segments soon to come. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned in the very near future for the remaining parts of this video. Peace, love, and respect to you all. Happy Thanksgiving week. Ciao.